All right, everyone, this is the Rover that we put a lot of work into, and we have all the videos about the engine rebuild, and it's been a couple years. We've been daily driving it, and it's been just awesome. An awesome, reliable car. The engine is still rock solid. We had to have the windshield replaced, and we had a lot of issues with safe light. They ruined it twice, and it's still messed up, so we'll probably just have to pay for that out of pocket. That's separate though. Anyways, what I'm here to share with you is really sad news. Something yesterday happened, which was unfortunately entirely my fault, but there was a localized fire in the back of the car, and it happened for the dumbest reason in the world. Here's the damage. You can see the rear quarter panel. That's one of the amplifiers for the audio system. The other one's up there. You can see down here where the battery disconnect was. There used to be a plastic, there's a factory plastic, a very thick plastic guard over there. That entire plastic is melted and it's just fused in with everything else. You can see the damage to the disc changer. Part of the factory harness for the audio system, and there's some other communication wires for CAN bus and some other stuff are damaged. And then you can see the subwoofer and the other amp over there. That actually doesn't look that bad. You can see what happened to this plastic. That's rock hard, but so you can see just how hot it had to have gotten to melt that. And then you can see this trim cover here, it's just completely charred. If you look at the headliner, the entire headliner is unfortunately just ruined. I mean, there's no saving that headliner. It's gonna have to be replaced. The what is it, the C-pillar, that is all carpeted material as well, and that's just ruined. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna be able to clean that up. So another thing we had done is the seats in the car are upgraded. They're 2006 comfort seats, so they're kind of rare, and we spent a bit of money to retrofit them in the vehicle. They're just all covered in this this thick soot, which is really, it's all over the place. You can see it in the window here as well, and you can see whatever happened when this fire heat buildup happened. It just, all the windows were closed, and it created probably some sort of toxic gas in here, and it contaminated everything in the car. The car was pristine before this. I drove it yesterday, but this morning I got in, and if you just touch anything, you'll be covered in this black soot, which is truly unfortunate. And the car smells. It has an odor. Here you can see an example of the difference for where the window was in the seal and where it was not, and the difference right there. It's everywhere. It permeated everything. Here are the comfort seats, which are just covered. I'm confident that it can all be cleaned and taken care of, but it's going to take a long time. A lot of elbow grease. Here's a back seat. This back seat part looks actually okay right here, but that's because this was closed. I opened it afterwards, but the other one is affected, and you can see the window damage again. The headliner down here, you can see what happens if you go like that. That's just covered in this horrible toxic garbage. Anyways, back to the damage. So here's what happened. The smoking gun is right here, and I left it here because this is a learning experience for me. This is also documentation for my insurance company. I want everything to be as transparent as possible. So here's what happened. I was doing work back here, and I had removed the cargo cover, which is right there. That cargo cover just snaps over here. I had removed it, and for the reason, because I was going to get to the battery disconnect switch, because I wanted to connect the batteries, because I needed some power. The battery, we hadn't driven in a while, and I wanted to have the second battery switch connected, and I left the cargo panel off, and I left my rollout tool bag, which is probably about like $300-400 worth of all sorts of tools that I would ever need to work on the car. And then I made the mistake of driving the car without cleaning it up. And you can guess what happened. Some tool that's obviously metal and conductive fell into an open battery positive terminal, shorted it out against the ground of the vehicle, and basically created a gigantic resistance heater. And that got so hot that it created a localized buildup of heat, what we believe was indeed a fire. And the unbelievable part of all this is this happened overnight when we were sleeping. We had no idea until we came out in the morning and saw all this. And so when I came to the car this morning, all the windows were closed. I believe because there was no oxygen supply, the oxygen was probably depleted in the car and the fire extinguished itself. So that in and of itself is kind of amazing, and I'm glad because we didn't lose the car. But I mean, you know, there's still a lot of damage, but it didn't combust the gas tank. There's about a half tank of gas in here. You know, it didn't damage the engine or anything. I started the car this morning, had a bunch of lights on it, and then as soon as I realized what happened, of course I stopped it. But I mean, still, it's pretty amazing that, you know, it burned what it could, and when the oxygen ran out, the fire stopped. And this is the result. So learn from my mistake. I've been working crazy hours. I just wasn't careful. I should have cleaned up my tools. I should have put the cargo cover back. If I had just cleaned it up, not would have happened. So learn from my mistake. I just got off the phone with an insurance company. We have USAA, so you know they've been good to us. Fully transparent. I was like, you know, this is my fault. I left tools here. The tools fell and shorted it out, caused a fire. So hopefully they come through and help us out. But even if they don't, we're totally repairing this thing. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how not you know how devalued the car is. It's an L322 Range Rover, guys. We're gonna bring it back to life no matter what it takes. It's gonna take a lot of time and elbow grease, but we're gonna do it. So yeah, that's it. You know, from the outside, you can't really tell anything. It's still gorgeous. It still works. You know, the amazing thing? It's like the way the Germans, really the Germans and BMW, you know, had most of the designs and parts built this car. But I mean, between them and the Brits, I mean, they built an awesome car. You know, if this was something else, could it have survived this? Could it have extinguished itself, or would it have ignited the gas tank or something? I don't know. But here's what I do know. I'm gonna make more videos on how we repair this. The plan is, as soon as the adjuster, you know, views everything, we're gonna rip all the damaged parts out of here. We're gonna make a list of everything, and we'll probably hit up auto dismantlers on eBay, and we'll find every single factory original part, and we will replace everything. For the harnesses, my plan is probably to buy a complete harness, and then to just salvage and cut off the pieces of the harness that are burnt, and then to just wire them in one by one and check each wire, make sure it's perfect, and make sure all of the battery positive connections are all properly terminated, shielded and everything. And we're gonna make this better than it ever was. We're gonna clean it up. We have an ozone generator on the way. We're gonna basically ozone out the car. I'm gonna break my cardinal rule of not ever hiring an auto detailer. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have an auto detailer go through and clean every surface of this car and get rid of the smell and everything else. And when all is said and done, our 177,000 mile Rover will drive again. I promise you that. So anyways, like I said, This is the video I never hoped to make for the channel, but you know, stuff happens and life happens and we all make mistakes. Learn from my mistake. Clean up your mess. Don't leave your tools in a place that can cause an issue. Rover 2 will live again. All right, that's it, guys.